Warning, this program contains strong language and content that might require actual thought and critical thinking. Viewer discretion is advised. It's that time. Time to kick off your shoes, time to get grounded and reclaim your magic, and time to fly. We are the Barefoot Bangarang Tribe, and this is Tarot with an Attitude, featuring the Bangarang man himself, the Reverend Rob Lee. Good morning, everybody. Bangarang. Welcome to Tarot with an Attitude. We have a great day in store today. I hope everybody's ready. We're going to get this show rocking here in just a minute. Today, January 6th, 2022, we got a special guest, okay? Today, y'all know what a 6 is. I've been preaching about a 6 for months now, okay? Breakthrough. Victory, finding our way through, but it's moving forward. It's not breaking through and stopping. Here we are on January 6th. We're going to talk a little bit more about that with our special guest, but we're going to get this party started. Our most gracious and loving Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, spirits, guides, and angels, we say thank you for the gifts you have bestowed on us. We say thank you for us knowing and having the ability to understand we are not alone, and that we have magic at our fingertips through your grace. Heaven help us, open our hearts and minds, so mote it be. So today, what I've got, as you can see right now, I'm going to change over here. I'm going to bring this young lady on. We're going to start a new little something. I'm trying to figure out where I'm doing when I can't talk and chew gum at the same time. Y'all know that, okay? Our guest, Miss Catherine Silver, the Shaman Lady. We're going to be doing Decoding Our Lives. This is how you're going to reach her. So everybody get ready. Here we go. Catherine, welcome in and say hi to everybody.
Hello, everybody. I'm so happy to be here. What a wonderful, nice, sunny South Florida day.
Oh, ain't it? Ain't it? Ain't it? Ain't it? There we go. All right, Catherine, you know, I always start out talking about on our show, we do talk about the energy of the day or whatnot. Yep. And so, and this is something I'm kind of shifting my numerology thought and beliefs. One, I go more on the month, kind of off of using that as the calendar because it's of the planets of whatnot. We've called it January. Still kind of man-made, but it's what they're. But one, the first part of the year, new beginnings, things are happening. Okay.
Absolutely, rebirth, the whole 9 yards. We're in a new cycle.
Absolutely. Now, when I look at the 6, the 1 and the 6 is talking about in and of itself that breakthrough, that victory that you and I have talked about before. All right. And then the 2022 is another 6. But now when I add them all together, I get 13. Okay. A lot of times that 13 becomes a standalone number because 13 is seen as its own number. And as in tarot, we see, and it's become Friday the 13th. Woo, things to fear. It's one of those things where 13 becomes the symbol of death or bad things or whatnot. And it's really not. It's rebirth. It's starting things over. What do you think about that?
Well, first of all, 1 is about new beginnings. Absolutely right. It's about the self. So it involves us. 3 is actually the number of the catalyst, and it changes the energy around it. It, in fact, doesn't change. And if you add the 3 and the 1 together, you get a 4. And a 4 is about the earth. So I think that's what it's really telling us is we are going in a new direction for not only the earth, but for humanity and for ourselves.
And that makes total sense to me. In there, I always generally wind up adding them together, getting down to that single digit. And so that, you know, that's where it's at. You and I talked to a lovely young lady the other day, Michelle Karen. That's going to be one of the questions the next time we talk to her. I want to talk to her about numerology and, you know, it's man-made calendar when we use 1/4/2022, but it's based on the stars and it's based on other things. So I want to make sure I got my numbers right. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that we always reduce it to a single digit unless it's a master number. And like 11 is a master number, and it represents illumination. 22 is a master number that represents cosmic law. The 33 is the Christ consciousness, not the person, but the energy. And I understand that we as humanity are not ready for the 44 yet, but I believe it has something to do with the earth. And the reason I say that is, remember the organization 4-H. And that was all about the relationship between, I'm going to say, humanity and the animals, the plants, you usually saw the 4-Hers at the big county fairs and things like that. So it's all good. And no matter where you do it, because we don't understand the quantumness behind these numbers, it works.
Right. So, Catherine, tell me how you got started. I've got your links and stuff rolling right here. And you're a holistic health facilitator would be the better term, So let me ask you this. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started?
Well, I had a pretty traditional life. Went to college, graduated, got married. Actually began, first job out of college was working for Pfizer Pharmaceuticals. My college sweetheart always wanted to be a physician. I would like to say, the first wife, and we went through the application process, and he was in Seattle at that time with me, and we ended up going to Iowa so he could go to medical school. And then I lived in El Paso, Texas, where he did his internship and residency, and then Fort Hood. And I lived in Nacogdoches for about 10 years. And then as the energy began to shift, and I think this is really good for your viewers, because sometimes our world comes crashing down. And after about 31 years together, he decided, we'll just say a 20-year-old girlfriend would make him happy. And so our marriage ended. And that was a paradigm that I didn't believe in. This would never happen to me. The bigger story, because I was going to say my mother had that same experience, and her philosophy was, your father's going to burn in hell and judgment day is coming. And the way I saw it was, we were entering a new time period, and I was here to do something, and I couldn't do it being married in that traditional sense. And so I spent, I was going to say, a few years sort of recovering from that transition. And then the question comes up, what do I do? And I've always been a cook, always been interested in cooking healthy. Got into the Kangen water, which I love and adore. I still have that. I use it. I believe in it down to my core. I decided I would go to the Institute for Integrative Nutrition. I completed both parts of that. But green shakes weren't enough for me. And the gym wasn't enough. And that's really what they were encouraging people to do. And I felt there was a deeper piece to us. And I had Louise Hay and Deb Shapiro and books like that on my shelf. And when somebody would come into my house and their knee hurt or the back hurt, I'm like, oh, let's look it up. And I was out in Mount Shasta for a conference, and a man named Enrique Boron had been invited by Dr. Todd Obakaitis. And it was about, they called it biological decoding. And it spoke to the unresolved emotions that we all carry that are the trigger and illness of all our disease. And that spoke to me on such a deep level. And I have like 10 books now that sort of give insights into that. So my primary passion, I was going to say, in love, is working with others to uncover that and then rewrite the story. Because if we hold on to that old story, then we never get a new perspective. But if we can see it differently, even as I saw my marriage, that I was here to do something bigger or greater. And I had to heal before we go into this, I'm going to say, new paradigm, which is exactly what we talked about now. And so it's almost like the foundation was being laid by spirit.
I get you. And, and that kind of takes me back when I'm dealing with couples and things like that. And I get a lot of people in here asking for readings about, me and this person, me and my husband, me and my wife, things like that. And I understand that. But it's hard for them to understand the fact that maybe this portion of your life has just run its course and spirit has something better for both of you. And that, but, Where I think on the dark side of this is where codependency comes in and lays its roots, and we've forgotten how to be happy within ourselves. So therefore, this all tears apart, and it feels like we're just ripped apart, and there's no new beginning. But there is. There's hope. There's life always goes on.
Absolutely. I had a friend of mine who said, you had a karmic relationship and the karma was complete. And so that was the reason. And I laugh. It's like romance is the hook, but the real purpose behind relationships is for growth and expansion.
Exactly. And you know what? Sometimes, yes, we do marry assholes. Sometimes we make bad decisions, and that's still karma going, I gotta right this.
Or does it make us stronger and facilitate us as individuals? Because if we are let's just say healthier, and we can sort of release some of that baggage that we sort of assimilated, gained, whatever you want to say, from childhood or from past lives, or that's running in our subconscious, then a relationship really becomes the bonus and the gravy, because we're able to stand alone.
Right.
And if we can stand alone, then anything else is just wonderful. And you're not dependent upon somebody else to make you happy, because only you can make yourself happy. You have to have that joy within.
I agree with you. Hey, I'm going to take a moment here. Going to remind everybody, you can reach out, grab me, tarotwithanattitude.com, book a session, get a gift certificate. Down below in the description is how to drop in a donation. Help. That's what we need. And I really enjoy working with people on a one-on-one, like I know Catherine does. And Catherine reads too. So we're going to have Catherine in just a moment do our card of the day and see what we've got as a message for the Barefoot Bangarang tribe. So let's first off too, I want to get back up in here and I want to say good morning to some of the tribe. Bridget, good morning. Glad to see you. Michael, I see where you said down below you're at -7. He's in Chicago. Okay. So
he's there to hold the light.
There you go. So Michael, be glad I can't open my window and just turn my camera and show you, the brisk 72-degree day that we're dealing with here, and just so much sunshine and beautiful sunrises. So, you can send me hate mail. I got it. Monica, good morning. Glad to see you. Welcome aboard. Bangarang. Everybody, Catherine, one of the things the Barefoot Bangarang tribe does is we believe this is the place to come in, kick your shoes off, get grounded, take some time out of the day. And I know you're going to talk about this and importance and stuff later, but how important it is to stay grounded. And remember, all the emotional stuff can be controlled. We can't let it, that's what breaks us from our grounding a lot of times. But we yell bangarang to remember whatever we put out, that's what we get back. We look to find our magic, and once we find our magic, we can grab our wings and fly.
All I have to tell you is I love the way you use the word magic. I create magic in my world all the time, and I love that you use the word tribe, because that's what we really are, is we are a village and we have our tribe. So thank you for using those words.
Oh, you are welcome. You are welcome. Let's see who else we got here. Christina. That's my daughter. Good morning. Glad to see you. Welcome in. Bruce, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Kaler. Bangarang, my people. Bangarang. Let's see what's going on here. I see some new people coming in. Tina, welcome back. Glad to see you. Grand Rising, welcome in. And Ursula, happy morning. Yes, I love that. Instead of good morning, happy. Drives right to the point. Be happy. Don't worry, feel like we need a little Bobby, whatever his name was, or whatnot. So before we move on, you know what? Normally we start the day out here. I do a card about like a message for the tribe or whatnot. Let's get you to do that today.
All right.
Okay?
So here's my deck. It's actually a deck by Pamela Eakins. It's not the Weight Rider deck that I actually started out with, but she has Kabbalah and Tarot of the Spirit. She's
okay.
An amazing person. And let's see what. That's good enough. Let me cut the deck. All right. And I'm just going to hold this up so you
Yeah.
can just see that we're just going to draw. I can't see what they are on this side. How about this one right in the middle? Ooh, we have Sister Wind, which represents truth.
Okay.
So that's really what she's about. Wind is about consciousness. So what I would say is she is here to show us the truth of where we are going into the new year of 2022.
Got you. So the truth, and that's big. One of the things I started out the year with was know your own truth. Who are you? We have to be, so many times we have to challenge ourselves. So that's really good. I'm going to throw a card up here with it. So you've got truth.
Yeah.
And what I'm going to do, I'm going to use, and I forgot, Elena Fairchild's The Sacred Rebel. And I'm going to throw a card out here and see how they kind of go with each other. So how it correlates. Let's see where we're at, and we'll go from there. All right, so you had Sister Truth.
No, Sister Wind.
Sister Wind. Sister Wind.
And the wind is about consciousness.
Okay. This is why I love doing this, folks. Hang on to your butts, folks, because this is going to show you exactly what we're talking about. We're going to bring this over here. What I have here is card number 35, Conscious Connections.
Oh, my God.
That's what I'm saying. Spirit is telling us today that consciousness is going to play. And when we talk about conscious, that means get out of the subconscious and know and own your thought patterns, who you are, your decisions. This is conscious is taking a drink of a cup of water. You can't just reach over, move your hand, do something. It's when you make a decision. And sometimes those decisions formulate around not making a decision, okay? Or it is a belief system. But when it's conscious and you decide to validate that belief system, that's your conscious connection. And look, you notice how yours was sister? We have two sisters here.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah. And I would like to add just a bit to that. I would say that as our vibration continues to increase, we will be able to see things that were hidden. And so that is also an important point, because 2022 will be the year that things reveal themselves. And I think that as things reveal themselves, people's truth will also change, because the perception of what has been going on will shift as well. So I think, and if we add mine, the 1, and yours is the 2, which is a 3, this is the catalyst, which is changing the energy around us. So we can even go back to that numerology.
Yeah, because I've got an 8 here, you've got a 2, that's a 10. Something old going away, new beginnings, things starting out. This is power.
Yeah.
This is really power. So that's what's going on. Let me get us back over here. Boom, there we are. Okay, let me get back up in here and talk to some people here. Let's see where we're at. Enchantress, good morning, Bangarang. Glad to see you. How are you doing? May I join in? Of course you can. Always, we welcome everybody. One of the things I do ask a lot of times, you don't have to, but where I do, that even exchange of energy is I try to get people to remember it's all about gratitude. Everything starts and begins and ends with gratitude. For being grateful, it opens up new frequencies. What do you think about gratitude, Catherine?
Well, I think that we need gratitude in our lives. And when we can see things as blessings everything is neutral. It is the belief we put with it. Did this, the same thing can happen to 2 people, and one can have a negative reaction and one can have a positive reaction. And I could even go back to the marriage ending of my mother and myself. I saw it as new beginnings. It took me a little while to work through it. I was never angry. I was sad. But my mother never forgave my father. So you can even see that perception of 2 different, and her life was very different than mine. Mine is exciting. Mine's moving forward. Mine's creating new things. So that I would also add with the gratitude, it's almost a form of pure intention. And that's really what Spirit looks at, is our pure intention to create what is next for us.
So see, y'all are actually hearing it from somebody else beside the big ugly. And this is what I want you to understand. You know, gratitude is a baseline for a higher frequency. It helps you establish that when you're true and real about it. And people that drag that crap around, they haven't learned how to see something as a new beginning, and they keep dragging this crap along. You know, my heart goes out. You don't make me mad. I pain for you because I remember doing that. And once you find and make that jump, okay, mine was not with an ex, mine was with my father. Wait a minute, this is your train. That's not my train. Not my circus, not my monkeys. You want to walk around being miserable? And actually more of a pity came out rather than the anger and the angst and everything that we always had. So I think that's really powerful. You know?
And I would, Rob, if I can interrupt, I'd like to just add one other thing, since there are a lot of people, I'm going to say, finishing their life cycles and transitioning. When both of my parents left, I saw it as a graduation from Earth School.
Okay.
And graduation is usually a happy time, and we know that we're going to see the person again. And so I think that if there's anybody who is dealing with a particularly painful loss, that if we can rewrite that, right, and not what you were talking about, how long we carry around this invisible sack on our back that just brings us down. And I've always looked at quality of life, and sometimes our quality of life diminishes. So, you know, even during my father's memorial service, I said he will be back as a child, running and playing and laughing and having a great time. And that's what I chose to remember. And so if we can hold on to this graduation from Earth School, it gives us gratitude that the person it doesn't become about us. You know what I mean? And I just have to add that is because there's so many people that are going through and struggling with things. And so I want to put that out to your tribe.
Okay. Thank you. Now, see, Glenda, could I get a message for the rest of the week? Thank you. Much love. Why don't you pull a card for Siglenda? Okay.
All right.
I tend to go into too much detail sometimes. And so really we're looking at 1-2 cards, or maybe you pull and then I'll have another card I'll pull, and we'll see how they come out together. Okay.
All right. So I would ask her right now is to focus on what her question is. And what is how about this? What is the message she needs to hear today?
Right. All right. And I'll let you talk about yours, and then I'll bring mine up, and we can see what all's going on here.
Okay, so I got the 8 of Fire, the lightning path. So that I would say that the whatever direction or change that needs to be made, it's going to come quickly. If we look at the 8 is about infinity. So on some level, she is connected to, of course, all that is and divine source. And there are changes that are coming for her. And I would say, rather than resist them, allow that flow of the universe and allow the messages and the synchronicity to guide you.
Okay. And that's what I've got here. I've actually got the 4 of Pentacles. So your 8 of Fire, would that in essence be the 8 of Wands? So
excuse me.
Oh, bless you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the 8 of Wands, it's talking about movement. It's talking about you got to move forward, things like that. And sometimes in the 4 of Pentacles, what I see here, we're establishing a new base. We're establishing a new platform. And I don't know if you can see it or not, but our young lady here has actually moved away from the city. She's moved away from popular train of thought. She is getting in and of to herself. Now, what I would caution you here in this move is you can't pull away. She's clutching her purse, and that can almost become a selfish act. Be open, look. You're going to move forward. You're going to move away, but you have to establish a new earthly platform. How do you want to live it here? You've got this passion and desire to move forward, but you still have to stay grounded. And this is talking about staying grounded. So for the rest of this week, what I'm seeing for you is forward movement but practicality. Okay? Be
And
up here.
I would also ask, the way she's holding her purse is just to allow, look for those signs and symbols, because that's how spirit talks to us, and don't be in resistance to the change.
Yeah. I gotcha. I gotcha. So, see, Glinda, there it is, sweetie. Let us know what's going on. Y'all know you can let me know at Tarot with an Attitude. Several of you have reached out over the last week and said, hey, this rang true for me. This was what went on. And I appreciate those. So it lets us know what's going on. Hey, we're going to take a minute here and I'm going to talk about what Kathy and I are up to. We're kind of doing something. We've got something going on where Kathy and I are going to start a show. And it's going to be my first real play at a podcast once I get all the technical problems rolled out. But look for it to come out this month. It's going to be Decoding Our Lives. And it's going to be with Catherine Silver, the Shaman Lady, and the Reverend Rob. We're going to be knocking this thing out of the park. So at this point, we have one email. Okay, it's decodingourlives@gmail.com. If you have a topic that you're curious about, whether it's spiritual, something going on in your life, or something that you're just curious about, put it in. Send us an email and say, hey guys, this is my thing. And then what we'll try to do is once we record on that, we will let you know when that show is going to be aired. Majority of these shows will be pre-recorded and they're going to be on a podcast. Don't know where yet. I'm trying to figure that out, but that's what it's coming, and that's what I've got cut out for me this week. So we're moving into a podcast thing. Kathy, what are you looking forward to with this?
Well, I think that there's so much, I'm going to use the word chaos, and we have this old energy, and we need to be open sort of to what's next. And how can we reframe some of these things? How can we understand the millennials? How can we understand the depletion of our food supply? How can we understand how astrology helps us understand ourselves? There are all these questions that a lot of, I'm going to say mainstream, whether it's religion or whether whatever, have sort of kept us from our power. And so I really feel it's about encouraging our listeners to step into truly their divine magnificence and who they are. And that's really, I would say, making sense of things in a way that maybe you've never thought of.
And that's what this show's going to be all about. Decoding Our Lives. Look for it. We will have our own YouTube channel. We will be able to link into here. Things are going to go. We're going to have a Patreon channel. A lot of things to look for. We're going to be doing a lot here with different things. So be looking forward to that. It's going to be something beautiful and wonderful. And again, an open forum for you to ask questions that we really want to hear and we want to go through about. And different things. Why do millennials think different than us? We raised them, So seriously, if we think about it, we want to blame, all these millennials. Okay. Yeah. Well, you, me, most of us raised them. So maybe instead of them just being, because it goes different against our flow, maybe they're doing it right. Maybe they picked something good up from us and they're challenging the system. So these are topics, things like that we're going to be looking at. I can't wait to do that one. We've got a couple of great millennials lined up for an interview. Yep. Okay. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. So
yeah. I think that this is, as we move into this, new paradigm, we can't stick to what we were raised with, as you say, because it's not working.
Right.
And I'm going to throw out with the millennials. Maybe they're here to break the system so we can create something new.
Very well could be. Very well could be. Yeah. Indigo, Bangarang, Reverend Rob, Catherine, and all beautiful Bangarang Soul Tribe. Love to all. So grateful for all the beauty and love that is in the world. There is so much out there. That's, Indigo, thank you. And I love you very much. Thank you for making that statement. It is one of the reasons I started the show, because the world started out, and I started this almost, I think, a year and a half ago now. I can't remember. And going at it 6 days a week. I started by just putting tarot readings in. But to remind people, because of all the hate, all the anger, we were ready to rip ourselves apart. Okay? We talk about the police. We talk about the military as though they are their own individual. Those are our sons and daughters. So the next time you think you want to fight with them, remember, you're going to fight with me. You're going to fight with Catherine. Our kids, these are people. They're not entities. Okay? So remember the love, the gratitude, and some of the due diligence we need to do about the way we think. So, I mean, that's going to be, exactly some of the things we're going to talk about. But, the beauty and love that's in the world, I think that's part of it, is us being able to help people see, what we have available.
And Rob, we're all part of the one. We are all part of this. There is no difference. We may look different with skin and hair and all that, but we're all part of that divine creative source, and we carry that inside of us. And so I think that's what, we are encouraging people. This is like almost a good news network, right?
Exactly.
And love is the greatest power in the universe, and we are here to shine our light, and we need to be lighthouses. Is to put that light out wherever we go. And I'm glad you invited the viewers, because I would also invite them to write us your questions, because we are here to help you decode your life.
Exactly. And some of what you just talked about is going to go right here. Ursula, can we learn to create magic? Most definitely. I mean, damn, that's what excites me. Okay. And Ursula, the important thing here of love is one of the things we're talking about. If you really want to create magic, the first thing you have to learn to love is your freaking self.
Yep, yourself.
And that is at the very heart, the basis, particularly of creating white magic, different lights, however you want to see it. And a lot of magic is simply connecting with spirit, letting spirit work with you to realize you can manifest damn near anything you want. Okay? Long as you're involved and things like that. What do you say about that? Can we learn to create
there's
magic?
There's kind of a mantra that I give my clients, and it's, I am that I am. I deserve to be here, loved by God. I am magnificent. And if she would repeat those 3 small sentences, she could create magic this afternoon.
Say them again.
I am that I am. I deserve to be here, loved by God. I am magnificent.
If you didn't get it written down, Ursula, that's your start. That's your base. One of the things we're going to talk about, and some of you have heard me say it before, is the fact, when we talk about the power of intentions, okay? We go back to, if you look up spells and things like that for the kind of magic people equate to, you will always see an incantation with a ritual. You know what? You know what that does? It's merely setting your intentions. It makes us focus on what we want, what we desire, and where we go. If you can learn to do that, you no longer need the rituals, the magic. It's just learning to focus intentions. That's exactly what it is. What do you think about that?
I think that's true. And if we look at the ego, which is most of the time what people talk about, not that the ego is bad, but I heard an acronym once, is easing God out. And so it's that noisy mind that says we're not worth it. And we've been told that sometimes in childhood by the church, that we're born dirty and all these kinds of things, rather than we are actually part of God. We all have a soul, right? And soul is part of God. So we are part of the creative source. We are part of God, and we need to begin to own that. And once you own that, the magic just starts to flow.
Things change. Your life change. That, the way you see the world literally changes. So I think that's very powerful, very powerful. Kim Sparaccio, great, crisp, and bright morning to all of the Bangarang and Super Soul tribe. I love that. I am so grateful for the light of the truth. May we all be at peace as we watch it unfold now. Absolutely. Here's one thing I want to caution you. I have said 2022 is going to be a year for some bright, positive change. We're going to see some things. But remember, a lot of people don't want to change. So there's going to be some very frenetic energy with this, as certain people don't want to question what they see as their reality. Perception is reality. Certain people are going to keep coming in here. They're going to be funneling all this conspiracy crap and everything into their heads, and then they wonder why they're in a negative or what they're receiving. Remember, intentions is not what you put out, but what you keep filling here. If we keep downloading crap, then don't wonder why you always can't seem to get things straight. So that's what I'm powerful. So yes, you're right. We are going to see some great changes in 2022. I'll share privately some of the things I feel like we might see happen. But what I want you to know is it's going to rock people. Okay, so therefore, we're going to have some radical up and down moments in 2022, but it's going to be a great year.
Yeah.
Going to be a great year.
Yeah.
All right, Rod. Good morning, Rob, Catherine, and the Bangarang tribe. Glad to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. Welcome back, Bangarang. My father is at the end of life, and it's so hard to see him in so much pain. Cancer is so cruel. Here's one of the things I want y'all to make sure that you're understanding when Kathy and I talk about grief. Grief never goes away. We've always said, go through it was originally 5 stages of grief, and poof, you're supposed to be better. I work with people that someone they've loved for 30 years has been in their life for 50 years. You can't just go, okay, he's better now. And that doesn't go. And one of the things we're learning in the subconscious, grief never disappears, but it morphs. It changes. It moves. And it becomes a facet of life that we learn to deal with and come to peace with it. Okay? And I remind people, a lot of times, the deeper the grief, the more you honor the relationship that you had with that person. Okay? As a grief counselor and as a grief therapist. Own it. Embrace it. But then you can't let that loss, that gets back to that, I have to have this person because we become codependent. Love them, but you have to then become the own control of your universe. They were in control of theirs. Now you're in control of yours. And how you move forward with that through these times hurts. Indigo, it will always hurt to see somebody we love in pain. Okay? All I can do is tell you, sweetie, this pain will end. Okay? There's going to be some hard times ahead. That's why you need to anchor into the love you have and the love you have with spirit within yourself, because you're going to need that for comfort and how you look at things as you come throughout your life. What do you say, Kathy?
Well, I would agree. And I think that this really becomes more about her rather than your father, because I can just feel it. And first of all, I am sorry that you are having this experience. So on a decoding level, all cancer is about repressed emotions. So there's something inside your father that he is holding on to. But more importantly, I would say, tell your father how much you love him. Have a conversation with him so that you are complete in this relationship.
And you know what? I do have to say, that is a belief. This is one of the places where I will agree to disagree. And we talked about that. It's going to be one of the things of the show. Not every illness is emotion related or whatnot. There are things. We fall, we break our backs. We get into chemicals that we have produced that form cancer. We've been around things. We take in inhalants we shouldn't have had. Things like that. Now, with that being said, okay, because when we say, well, cancer, it's a repressed thing, that means people will take that as he's killing himself, that he could just, if he would let the stuff go, he will heal. I do not believe that. I've been around too much of this clinically and as an advocate and doing grief therapy with people and understanding how it works in the hospitals, trauma centers, things like that. So I do want you to understand, I would talk to him, and just like Kathy is saying, what the best thing you can give him is your love. Okay? And let him come to terms with his own stuff as he sees fits, and just let him know that you're there. If he opens up to you, great. If he doesn't,
I'm not saying that he will. I mean, my father had
Right.
kidney issues, and if you look at Chinese medicine, kidneys are the seat of fear. And there
Right.
was something happened when he was 14. His mother and his little brother were in an accident, and his mother changed, and they could never talk about it. And at 84, I said, Dad, you know what happened? He's like, well, we couldn't talk about it. So even like 70 years later, it was still within him.
Right.
So I say this. He doesn't know this, but I also am a grief recovery specialist. I have my, in grief recovery. So I also do it from the spiritual point of view. I would say, this is a renewal of his expression, and he's choosing this transition. We don't understand that why. We don't understand what the soul calls in. We don't understand the time frame. We don't understand any of that. But we do understand that obviously his time with you is limited. And so I would give him your love completely and ask him. Sometimes people finally want to confess or say something that they've never felt comfortable enough to say. And that will help him when he comes back, because it will have released that. So I would say, it's a time for you to get complete with this relationship, because he's going to be fine. When he leaves, he's back part of the creative source. So he's fine. It's the ones who are left behind.
Yes, trying to figure it out. Yeah. And that's the important part of how you begin to cope with it, deal with it, what you see it as or whatnot. We all want to keep everybody here forever. And if we could ever manage that, we'll all die. The earth can't support if nobody dies. Okay, it's population control. Earth even has its own way of population control. We've seen it through history. Okay, so that us wanting to keep them here forever is natural from the emotional standpoint. Okay, but from the practical standpoint, this is life. These are some of the things and why we chose to live this human experience. We chose, believe it or not, I do believe we are spiritual beings having a human experience, and that the majority of us actually chose to be here in the time that we're in, knowing full well we were going to experience grief, loss, pain, suffering. I think that's part of the human experience, to teach that part of us that's within us of, oh, life moves on. Cherish what you have. I think it teaches us gratitude. And,
the other thing is it's a mind twist to me, but we are eternal and forever. We have no beginning and no ending.
Right.
And we don't understand that in this human vessel right now, because all of those, I'm going to say, we got to have a governor on ourselves, right? So we can only go so far. And most people travel in, it's called a cadre of about 1,000 souls. And so lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. So in this lifetime, we can even go some kind of esoteric and metaphysical things. You were his daughter. Maybe next time, it'll be
she could be his mother, Right. Yeah, exactly.
So these soul relationships, and we experience all sorts of different relationships. So this time you're his daughter, but next time, as Rob said, it could be it could be a brother, it could be a sister. I mean, we change genders, and I think it's for growth. Again, growth and expansion as souls. And we have to go through this experience, because, as you know, an experiential experience is something you will never, ever forget. And when we think, if we shut our eyes and think about what we learned in high school, most of us can remember about 10%. But if you shut your eyes and you remember your first kiss, you can put yourself where you are, who you were with, all of the details, maybe what you were wearing, what time of year it was, all of those things, because it's experiential experience that you never forget. And so what I would say is embrace what you and your father share, because those memories will carry on and they will never go away. And you can look at the, I'm going to say, wonderful relationship and the things that you shared together. And that's what I would say, please hold on to the good things and not this last part of the suffering. It's something and we don't understand. The soul has a plan, and we don't often, privy to look behind the curtain, as they say.
Yeah, many times. Hey, Kathy, pull a card for Radha real quick. I want to do Radha. She's saying, may I get messages from Spirit for anything coming my way? So just a quick card. You pull one, I'll pull one. We'll do this fast. I got some people down here. I'm getting behind a little bit. But this is good. Radha, real quick. All right. Again. So I'm going to get this thing started, Kathy. I'll bring my card up. We'll go here. And we have here a card. All of a sudden, my camera decided to go a little nuts. It's the 9. So we're talking about manifesting. We saw this card recently the other day. What do you feel? You have to look at what's coming your way is going to be stuff you manifest, stuff that you bring into light. That's going to be one of those deals. I'm going to bring this over here where you have to see it. Notice the young lady is holding 2 different pieces of fruit, apples and oranges. Okay. What do you feel about it? You don't have to blend in. And the 9, also we have, is this the Earth? No, that's the moon. So there are things coming your way that you're not going to be able to see, but you're just going to have to deal with them. You can't be prepped for everything, but you can prep your heart to deal with them and to slow down and your mind to deal with it and say, okay, this is this, this is this. Sometimes we want to blend them together and you can't always do that. Kathy, what have you got?
All right, I got the Hierophant, which is the 5, and it's major, one of the major cards, but it really means, the psyche or the soul. And so what I would say is you will be receiving messages, and just be open. They come in signs, symbols, they may be a song on the radio. It may be somebody said, it may be a license plate. I was going to say you are always receiving messages. And this is part of who we are as the divine, and we're never, ever alone. So I would say that these cards totally go together. I mean, I even saw that woman that you had is almost to receive. We all have that pineal, and it's almost like acts like a Wi-Fi, right? And it's always receiving information. And then our thoughts, sort of translate that. And so it's just being open. So yeah, there we go.
So the things are going to happen. You're going to have things happen to you this week. That's just a given. Is there anything I'm going to put? Neither of us can go into that kind of detail on this show right now. You want to book a session? Be glad to go over that with you or whatnot. But one of the things I want you to see, okay, is just what Kathy said. It's all a download. Life is a download. It's coming at you, and it's how we interpret it. That's why the spirituality and having the strength is so important. Decoding our lives. And why do you decode? We could both be in the same incident, and you decode it completely different than the way I decode it.
Right.
Why do we decode that differently? And a lot of it has to do with your DNA, your past, things that you were taught that you don't even remember you were taught. Right. So that's why these 2 cards are so important for you, is to understand you have to interpret this for yourself.
Yeah, and the other thing is, the 5 at the top is about change, and it's a fast-moving number. So things will probably move kind of quickly this week for you.
Yeah, 9, manifesting what I had here. You bring those together. The reading is a 14, 1, new beginnings. The 4, that platform we're talking about. But bring those together, you got a 5. 5s, I'm a 5. So 5s can be a little shaky. 5 can be unsteady. But 5s can be very passionate. 5s can be very powerful in your life, very creative. So look to that and see what's going on.
I'm a 5 too.
Oh, you're
God.
A 5? Oh, yeah. Wow. Yeah, y'all are going to have to check out the show, Decoding Our Lives, coming soon, because we're going to talk about some of the things that Kathy and I have in common, and it's really kind of freaky. Right. So we already know we have known each other in some shape or form in a previous life or in a future life, and that's what's going on. So, hey, Bridget wants a card. Bridget would love a card if you get a chance, please.
Okay, let's do it.
And Bridget is a constant in my life. I appreciate her and Bruce or whatnot. They support me in so many ways, just like Indigo and oh man, everybody knows my brain goes south.
Raj or
Monica Madigan. I don't know if she's made it in today. But Bridget, here we go. Let's see what we got. I'm being told.
This is so fun.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is. So let's see what we've got here.
Yeah, you got a good tribe here.
I love them. I love them. And you know what? What I tell them a lot of times, and I don't think they believe it, they heal me.
Yeah.
You know, we do healings on the show. We do send the energy out, things like that, and we go from there. So what's your card?
I got a 10 of wind. And so
okay, hold on. I'll bring you up bigger so you can put that
okay.
up and people can see it. There we go.
There,
Bridget, here we go.
The 10 of wind.
Okay.
So it's really about the self and consciousness, and you can see how, you know, it's sort of rising up. So this is, I would say this is something that is going to reveal itself to you, and you're going to kind of have an aha moment.
Where do you see this? Okay. This card, 21, beyond the mind, the heart beats. Think about what you just said. A lot of this world is because of what we have here. You know, when I was going through my psychology and different things, they talked about, there's an old theory, and a lot of people have heard about it now, called the brain in a vat, brain in a jar. You know, and that everything exists, that when I turn this show off, none of you exist. I'm the only one that exists. You're all things I make. Our world, our lives are what we shape them to be. And this is why that manifestation is so important to grasp. I have to re-change the way I see my life. That's what I've got. So I get with Kathy. What was your card number?
10, which is about the self. It's about the self and new beginnings. It's also the 0 indicates the unknown. And I make up that the 0 is that multidimensional or spiritual energy that is a part of us that sometimes it's a little misty and foggy sometimes, but it's about us.
Absolutely. And this is 21, 2 and 1. So a partnership. And Bridget, for you, I really feel it. And I'm actually feeling it. It's a partnership with your heart, with your soul, and with your spirit. That's what I'm getting, that duality. And what's happening is some things you're starting to question, some things are banging around here, and that brings in that 1, new beginnings for you. So we have the 10 from Kathy, the 1 in here, and we bring them together, and I have a 3, a 2 and a 1. It's a 3, creativity, collaboration, working with the earth, working with the universe, working with other people. But when we bring her 10 and my 3 together, we're back to the 13. We're back to things are going to go away, and there is a rebirth trying to take place, and a new thing that you're trying. And some of this is why things are getting so hectic for you, because there's a rebirth going on, and you're looking for things to just be, I just want some continuity, you know, and I want to be able to move and move with the flow, things like that. But I feel like there is something huge coming for you in a change, and something that's going to be for you personally. That's what I get.
It sounds like she's in the birth canal.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. That could be. And Bridget, I have always thought there is, you know this, there's more to you than what you know. Okay. You are power. You are power in and of itself. You are special. And some of this is you really trying to comprehend it. Okay. I know you're shamanistic of yourself. I believe you are a recreation of a shaman. And some of this you're still trying to get back with the regular world and the schedule and whatnot. Sweetie, you got a big thing coming. Okay? And just to read what this says again, beyond the mind, the heart beats. And that is a powerful, powerful statement. Bangarang! Make it happen, Captain. You know? That's what we've got. Sieglinde, thank you. I feel a change coming. I just need to accept it. So right. Getting past these headaches, I could focus more. Rob, yes, I do need to ground myself more. Yes, you do. Absolutely. Thank you for letting me know. Hey, look who popped in. All right. And this is a good time for me to talk about. Jay and April, Spiritually Raw. Woo! Glad you are here. This is awesome. What a tag team. We are having fun. Now, one of the things, I'm going to take a moment here and talk about something. Kathy, down below in my my descriptions, Jay and April also have the Ascended Masters, where people come and teach. You can find those lessons below in my description. Normally I bring it up at the beginning, and I bring it up in the middle, and I bring it up at the end. But use those links to go check this out. I mean, links from Mr. Morgan about cryptocurrency. All right. But then there's links from HILLIS PUGH about your activating your light body self. There's links in there from a trio of people that are just wonderful people about activating your DNA to find your highest self. So all these courses can be nailed right down in my description. Click on them, go there. Use those links because I get credit for being there, okay? For sending you there. So make sure y'all are checking those out. But that is something that's offered through there. Okay?
Well, the other thing is Jay and April are just awesome people. So if they're not, familiar with their channel and their work, they need to check them out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Moxie, welcome back. Hello from New York. New York in the house. Glad to see you there. Rob and Catherine, love you guys too. Thank you so much. What a great team. Wow, awesome. Thank you guys. Thank you for the support. Radha, what a magical affirmation. That is important. You have to understand that. Indigo, thumbs up for Rev, please. Much gratitude. Hit the damn like button. Do this. Do me a favor. Hit the like button. That is how you help me. It's another way you can help me. But also, bring people in. April likes to say on their show, come back often, bring a friend, tell somebody. You know what? Share the link. Share the link that you're watching this from so the tribe can grow. The tribe is growing. And I'm over 600 subscriptions now on this, so we're doing good. The tribe is growing. We need more because we need to share this energy with people and share the things that are going on. Thank you so much. Glad for you. Monica, there you were. I was just talking about it. Impermanence. Bangarang. You got it. Fascinating lady. Thank you. Hope everybody's doing well. We're getting through here. Please, may I have a card for today? Much gratitude always. For my Indigo. Yes, let's see what we can do. Let's whip a card up for Indigo. How about that?
All right. You want me to do a card too?
What's that? Sure.
All right.
Sure. Let me see. I'm being told I might be.
We just have a couple minutes left, it looks like.
Yeah, we're on the downside, but we will kick this thing off. We'll do this. Yep. All right, and see what's going on. You know what? I'm getting confused about which deck Spirit wants me to use. I tried just bringing in one deck once before, and it ruined my day. Because I believe Spirit tells me to use different decks for different things because the artwork's so different, So here we go. Indigo. All right. Let's see what we have here. Ooh, I love this card. This is going to be from the Light Seers deck. So, Kathy, if you want to start us off, I'll bring you in so you can bring your card up in front of the camera. Raise it up. There we go.
10.
10 of Earth. Okay.
So, as you can just see, a lot of energy in there, a lot of connection with Spirit. The 10 is, as we said last time, about the self, new beginnings. It's also about the unknown. So I would just say is use that gratitude and be open to what's next for you. There's some stuff, you've been working hard, you're doing well, and it's going to continue to change. Rob?
All right. What I got is the beautiful High Priestess here. And what this tells me, when you're asking about a card for today, you're going to be coming up with some things that I see in the physical world that you're going to be dealing with that 10 of Earth. Okay. Some of them you're not quite going to understand, and you're not going to be with a blatant yes or no answer. And that's what our High Priestess is here to tell you too. Duality, but partner with yourself. You were given at birth key components to understand and use your intuition. There is knowledge that doesn't come from books. It comes from your life experience. And what this is saying today, it's going to be very important that you tune into your intuition to answer your questions. Listen to that guidance within yourself to make it through. Those two pillars, one's yes, one's no. You're trying to get through here, and she's saying you can't just go through the pillars. Sometimes you got to rely on knowledge that Spirit gave you. You got to rely on the intuition that Spirit gave you. And that's what I'm seeing there as a very powerful message for today. So things happening in your physical world, either something's coming to an end or something's beginning. That's the power of that 10. You know, we can look at a 10 as finality.
It's so interesting. Look at the colors. I don't know if you can see this as coming in. The same thing in your card. So this is something that she's being given. Instead of the face here, we have, you know, almost the vessel that represents the body. So there's some information that's coming to her.
Yeah, and if you look, we have the same, even here, the download.
Yeah,
so listen.
Yeah.
Listen up, because you will have the knowledge to handle whatever's coming at you today. Okay, you will be given that, and you already have it, is one of the things I'm picking up on. So, you know, Kathy, thank you for being here. And again, this is Catherine's information. You know, Catherine Silver with a C and no E, you know, so look at it. Make sure you're doing that. CATHRINE, not ERINE, RINE, Silver.com. The Shaman Lady, Holistic Health Facilitator. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rob. This has been so much fun. I loved it. I loved your people. I have a lot of gratitude for you inviting me today. And I wish your tribe to have an absolutely beautiful day.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you. And I'll be catching you on some episodes of Decoding Our Lives. We're going to be starting that. I mean, we've already started filming, folks. We've already started recording. So it's coming. It's coming. We've got stuff in the bag. I got to get it out there. All right, Kathy, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I will talk to you in just a minute. All right?
Ready.
All right, here we go. Folks, what a day. Make sure you understand, we're in 9 o'clock in the morning. Next week, we're going to start new schedule, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Now, I want to remind you, this week, tomorrow, we're here, and Saturdays, whenever she can be here, it's going to be with my wife doing the magical unknown, Gillian Lee, who is also an ordained minister. And she takes more of a practical approach to things or whatnot, but she is, I love working with her. Well, of course I do. But it is one of those things where we just feed off each other, and it's a great show. So make sure you're here Saturday morning at 9 o'clock. The Saturday morning shows starting next week are going to be moved to 10 o'clock. So we're going to go Tuesday and Thursday live, 9 a.m., okay? And Saturday at 10 a.m. That's one of the things I want you to see and what you're going to do. So remember this, tarotwithanattitude.com. Book a session. Some of you have booked. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. It helps. Plus, you're helping yourself. We can work together in a way that you're not going to work with anybody else. Who gets to work with a smart-ass tarot reader? You know, don't miss the opportunity. It's just the way. We're going to talk about it and see it and come to real terms with things you have questions on. Also, make sure you share in the link. Hit the like button and subscribe. Tell everybody the tribe is growing. We have channels on YouTube and on Facebook. So check them all out. Be there, be square. And as we always say, at the end of the day, take what you want. Really. Leave what you don't. But leave having experienced some peace, love, and light. Bangarang!